and welcome to another Red Valkyrie Presents. Thanks so much, Cyborg, for saying I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. I'm just dripping a lot. It's fine.
I have a video for that.
Oh no. Don't do it.
It's not on this one.
Yes! I win! Thank goodness.
Son of a bitch.
Well, how are you, Cyborg?
I'm doing awesome.
Good.
Very
And we, of course, have our buddy from New Take Media, Damion. How are you?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Awesome. Found the video.
Why are my drippings with goo?
I thought I was gonna get away. And
Nope.
Past Master Dan, she wishes she was this good at
I know,
Drew's
right?
makeup. I'm just saying, it takes 5 seconds. It really
She would have
wasn't-
gotten. She would have gotten the $100 million if she
Yeah.
was like that.
That's true.
I'm just like, seriously, just dab a little green, a little bit of brown. It's really not that hard, bitch. I don't know what your problem is. Anyway, yeah. So this is, of course, for your horror anthology titled
Horror.
anthology titled World of Killers. And can I just say, before you even say anything, guys, there's a killer quokka. It's insane, and he has heart sunglasses, and I don't know what to do with him. He's adorable.
That's all you need. I mean, that should be enough for you to back the book right there. Like, Killer
Right.
Quokka, boom, done.
Look at, I just need a Mika cream.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Amica.
Yeah,
Amica.
I'm sorry. Excuse
You're-
me. Let me mispronounce this correctly.
You're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Well, considering it's not even Amica, yes, my dog stepped on
Stepped
all
on
of
a
the
bee.
things.
Shae,
I
you gotta
can't.
make the grimace. No. That's not the one.
She just constantly looks like she's about to poop her pants. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that because we're going to talk about World of Killers instead.
Speaking
Something
of
that
homicidal bitches,
There
let's
you
go.
Look, she could be in it. You
Oh,
don't know.
she could easy. She wouldn't have much more to do after this.
Look, it might be a stretch goal.
Yeah, got Amber Heard in there.
Like a one-page story, and it'll just be clips from the trial.
You don't have any
Alright.
pictures of beds anywhere in this anthology,
Oh,
do you? Because you
that's
could just
true.
put a little
Just a
brown
little poop on
smear.
bed.
That's
Yeah,
a good idea.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good idea.
All right. Enough of that craziness. Let's talk about World of Killers. So why don't you give us your elevator pitch?
So, World of Killers is a 30-plus page, as you can see, horror anthology book with various stories ranging from psychological horror to comedic horror, as you know, because there's a goddamn killer quokka in it. All right?
He looks so cute.
He does. And imagine, like, The Thing meets Friday the 13th, right? American Psycho meets Hellraiser. Imagine if all of these universes, like, coexisted with one another and they were just on one canonical planet. That is essentially what this book is here. So every storyline is connected and linked together in some way.
Okay. So, right now, you're sitting at 30 pages. If you get to 6,500, we're getting the Bloody
Another 10.
Blade.
Yep.
And
so
then
it stacks up, essentially.
Intelligence in the Void is at 7,400. So this could potentially be 50 plus pages.
Exactly. So if you guys back it early now, you might be backing for a 30-plus page book, but if you guys all team together and share with as many people as possible, you could be spending that money on a 50-page book.
Okay. Interesting. So, your perks are, I mean, they're very, very straightforward. And before we really get into them, one of the things that I just kind of wanted to point out is you have a huge jump in price point.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've noticed with a lot of creators is they know about what the price points they want to hit are, but they don't always necessarily pay attention to how that translates value-wise to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we go into the tiers a little bit more, I'll get a little bit more into that. The one thing I did notice was I went to just check out the bloody basic, right? Because let's just say you don't hit stretch goals, it ends up being 30 pages, right? $15 for a 30-page book, that's decent. That's a good price. $12 shipping, bro. Wow. That was rough.
Yeah, I mean, so when because I have already released a book that was funded, essentially. And pretty much when I was doing it, a lot of the places, I guess because they were so far away, that I was getting orders to were pretty close to that range. So I figured it's probably a good idea so I don't lose money the whole time.
Right. So totally understand that, and that's one of the reasons why we typically suggest when people are looking at domestic shipping versus international. Yes, international usually takes a pretty big ding, and unfortunately right now international shipping is abysmal. All the way, even if you're just going to Canada, like it's
ridiculous.
It there, but,
it's nuts.
But Canada cost me more than I think shipping to the UK did. The downside is if you are going to keep this at, let's say that it only stays at 30 pages, and I have $12 shipping for a 30-page floppy, that now has turned that book that was $15 and nicely priced to $27. So it's almost a buck a page. So that would be something that I might look at. There's a couple of sites that you can go through, like pirateship.com usually does a really good job of consolidating down and finding you the best rate. For a lot of people, even with this climate, shipping domestically, so shipping within the continental US, isn't hitting quite that high. But if you start shipping to Canada, to Hawaii, to Alaska, to all these places where it's going to have to get on a plane, a boat, something that is considered international, so they're going to ding it. Yes, that's going to go up. And $12 shipping for them would be phenomenal. Because most of them are paying 20 plus. But as somebody who is a consumer first, that is one huge red flag for me, is that, man, the shipping is almost the same price as the book. So that would be one thing that I would consider. The other thing is you've got a $5,000 fixed goal, which is a good goal. But with the tiers that you have made it so you have to have so many backers to hit your goal. Because you've got 15, 40, 150. Or 300. Now, granted, 300, if you like Joe Ball, that's a decent price, because I've seen Baller sketch cards go for 50 plus each.
Joe Ball doesn't mess around. He doesn't mess around.
Right. And you added a lot of good stuff in here, so I would say this is definitely a good value. But some of the other ones, I might see if you could beef them up a little bit, like mini prints, things that don't really cost a whole lot. But that could really add to the value that people feel like they're getting, or even like I know that you got the Quokka sticker and he's so cute, and the fact that I can only get him if I pay $150, like he ain't that cute. He's cute, but he ain't that cute. I would maybe consider doing like add-on packs where you can do stickers that are relatively cheap to make an add-on. So see if you can get a couple different stickers, maybe something that's representative of each of the stories, and you can put those together with some bookmarks, with some trading cards, and have those as add-ons. So when if people are gonna hey, I don't have a ton of money, I'll get the $15 whatever, and it's like, oh hey, here's a an $8 add-on pack, and I can get 5 trading cards, and I can get like 4 stickers. Well, that's pretty cool. Like maybe I'm down for doing that, and then that kind of helps bolster along the way. And so that number that you're trying to get isn't going to rely on you getting like 400 backers to get there, because that's kind of what you're sitting at now, is you're like, you need a lot of backers in order for you to hit that.
That's true.
And everybody in the chat's like, Shae, just get to it. I love patches. Patches are badass. They're not the cheapest thing that you could get. They are cheap to ship because they don't really add weight to your package. Like you're talking like a 0.1 ounce maybe. Right. But I mean, a Killer Quokka patch.
Killer Quokka, yeah, he's right.
Dude!
He's right.
That would be badass. Like, you have it, especially, you know, if you could end up doing the ones where they do the silk screen. I've got this shirt, and it's the best shirt ever. It's got 4 bunnies across, and it says "Dare to be different," right? And the last bunny just has a little bit of blood on his paw. But it glows in the dark, and when it glows in the dark, the bunny has a fucking demonic face, and the other 3 bunnies are just skulls.
That's sick. That's
so. You can always play around with like a print or something like that, where you have a cute little quokka, but it's a glow in the dark, and when it glows in the dark, it's a demonic.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea right there.
all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, yes, Aerith, please. You've been on this show. You know how we do.
Okay, so Shae, you had your turn. It's my turn. This is how much you will pay to ship anywhere in the United States.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a priority mail, legal flat rate envelope. This will hold the Gemini mailer.
Yes, it will.
So $7.90 will get you anywhere in the U.S.
Now, granted...
This is pirate ship.
Granted, upping it a little bit to cover costs for Gemini mailers and packing tape and stuff like that, of course. But, I mean...
We usually recommend $10 to $12, and this will get it there in 1 to 3 days with $100 insurance.
Well, he's at $12. The problem, like I was saying, the problem isn't. It's sitting here at $12 shipping with a $15 price point for a 30-page comic, which is what you're starting with. That's why 30-page comics are so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
Right.
Because in order for you to pay for, okay, look, I've got priority 1 to 3 day shipping with all of the costs and everything, $12 isn't bad for a book that's hitting 50 plus pages easily.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting here like,
you could squeeze that to 10. Yeah. You definitely.
Right.
Yeah. So we've done consulting on a bunch of campaigns. I'm just throwing it out there. It is possible. You can get there, and not screw yourself. The key is when you build the campaign, put in those prices for U.S. shipping is this much, Canada is $1 billion, and everywhere else,
Canada is all the prices.
Is a quadrillion.
Yeah, my last campaign, all I got was like people from Canada. It was like insane. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, see, and so that's the thing is it's really difficult because you don't know where your audience is going to be.
Yeah.
Trying to find creative ways where you can hide some of that cost, and so as a consumer, it's not so glaringly obvious.
Right.
Typically helps a lot more, which can happen in your tiers. But you've also got to look at, if you were buying something, if you went into the store and there was a 30-page comic book staring at you, right? And you're like, man, I'd really like to get this. And they're like, that'll be $27. You'd be like, nope, I will find other comic books that are not $27. Because it sounds like it's not as good of a deal, right?
Yeah.
So when you find ways that you can kind of hide some of that cost in there, where you're like, okay, it's maybe a 40-page graphic novel, or like how you're talking about, you've got the stuff where you really want to do 50 plus pages.
Yeah.
And as it stands, I'm not saying anything about where you're sitting right now with this comic. I'm saying this is definitely going to be a more difficult climb.
Oh yeah.
Because of your tiers and the goal that you're trying to get to. If this should not succeed in hitting its funding, my best advice that I could give you would be do what you can to get those other stories in there. Relaunch this as a 50-page graphic novel, like a 50-page anthology, and then see if you can't find 1 or 2 other stories that you could get another artist to do, or something along those lines, some filler pages, behind the scenes stuff, whatever, to help bump that page count up and still give quality. But that way you can raise the base price of the comic a little bit more. So you're not saying 15, you can say 25, and that's like, okay, it's 50 cents a page. It's still not super great, but that's not terrible.
Yeah.
And it'll help you get to your goal quicker. The other thing I would really suggest is you've got Joe Ball sketch cards, fantastic. If you can get other original art, whether it is you have guest artists that do fan art, that they send to you and you decide to sell, or prints or something like that, find those other places where you can do a couple of add-ons. You can do maybe a couple higher priced, really awesome guest artists, like canvas paintings and things like that, where you can give the artist a cut and a cut can go to your campaign and help bolster up that goal number a bit. Those typically tend to help a lot more. There's a lot of people who really, really love getting their hands on original art, and a lot of these campaigns from people that are lesser known, that, you know, I mean, you're sitting here, New Take Media's got 3 campaigns total. One of them was a horror film, and you got Joe Ball doing art for you. Like, that's already a good get, right? So,
Yes, it is.
So you've already got, obviously, something there.
He knows what stories lie in there, people. It's the writing.
Baller doesn't just do shit just for funsies.
He doesn't just do it. I'm telling you, I don't mess listen, my storytelling is like, that's one of my number 1 priorities. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you. So, yeah.
Well, and so that would be something that maybe I would suggest, if you can get a couple other artists, do a couple of commissions, and then offer up some original art up for people, or hire, if you've got artists that are digital artists, and you can maybe get a couple print packs going, things that you can add on throughout the campaign to kind of sweeten the pot a bit.
Yeah.
That might really, really help you.
Definitely.
Okay. Enough of that. I want to know, because you've got a good mix of stories right now, but I don't actually know which artist is doing what yet, because it's not listed here.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure what these stories are, because, like, that looks badass, but I really don't know what that is, other than, like, this dude, I'm guessing, had a crazy Friday night, drank a little too much.
So if you go, all right. So yeah, so I'll explain them. I mean, they have the brief summary of what it is listed above. But
right.
But I mean, that's essentially what it is in summary. But here's what this story is, right?
Okay.
This is the one that I was saying that's like Hellraiser meets American Psycho. We follow a serial killer, and we're deep into his mind, into his psychology, right? You're going through his life. And then you essentially watch as his reality starts to crumble around him, whether it's through sanity or some sort of demonic force. That'll be for you to decide. But
wow.
But yeah, it's gonna get crazy. This man's sins might come to life a little bit.
Wow, that's you know, the more you look at this, so is this Joe Ball?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is Joe Ball. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if it's not Joe Ball, then it's a Joe Ball lookalike.
Yeah.
The thing that I love so much about Baller's work is the subtlety that he hides into everything, and so, considering the fact that this is you tell Baller a story, and he goes off and he draws it, and this is what we get as the, like, teaser page that we're all looking at. I am quite intrigued. There's a bunch of knives in this dude's back. He's vomiting up some, I don't know what, on some port. He's waterboarding this guy that he's got pinned.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore. Like, clearly, as you guys can see, he's like a master of visual storytelling here. There's so much in this page that, like, is literally hinting at stuff from throughout the book that I'm not going to spoil, but, like, if you read it, you would know. It's just cool to look at, because he's so meticulous with his detail. It's crazy. You know?
Well, and it's, I mean, there's like this, like, Wolverine-esque syringe-like fingers. Just, it's just so much. You got all these bug guys in the background. Like, this looks badass.
Yeah.
This definitely is an intriguing story for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have Flesh and Insect. So who's the artist behind this one?
So this one is Joe Strella. He
Okay.
does, as you can see, like a more like realistic looking style. It feels more movie-like, in my opinion, which I like because, I do movies, so I'm a fan of that. This is a romantic body horror type of story where a woman's body has been infected with a colony of insects. And her husband, who is like a doctor, is trying to, cure her of this this virus, essentially. So it conflicts a lot with, their relationship, and you get to see how this impacts both sides and stuff like that. So,
It's
yeah.
very interesting. And
Yeah.
it's a very different art style. It looks almost like painted over pictures,
Yeah.
like photographs that have been
Right.
painted over the top.
Yeah.
Eric is asking, is this how all of the interiors look? So each story has its own artist,
Yeah.
correct? Okay,
Correct,
so this
yeah.
is the first story. Akumu is done by Joe Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's written by Damion.
Yep.
And then Flesh and Insects was, I'm sorry, what was his name again?
Joe Strella. A lot
Joe
of Joes
Strella.
in here.
We got Joe and Joe.
Joe and Joe.
Joe and Joe. And then Killer Quokka. Okay, who's the artist behind this one?
The man, the myth, the legend. This is Step One Studio. It's like they do like manga art.
This is the most adorable fucking thing ever. Look at that. Look at those little eyes. It's got the little, like, eyelash thing. And then she stabs him with a syringe because she's a terrible human being. And I can't.
Listen, if you ever wondered how Killer Quokka could kill people, this is the story to do it. I mean, it's pretty simple. This story is like a B horror movie. That's kind of what it is. It's just funny, fun, crazy stuff, but it also deals with the deeper conflict of animal life versus human life. So, it's deeper than it seems on the surface. But you got Quan Quokka here. That's his name. His name's Quan, and
He was so cute once.
and he's trying to escape this, cell that these people have put him in. And this is essentially a facility that holds all of the killers on the planet because,
Look, he looks like he's super excited to see Titty, is what it looks like.
he loves those. He loves those. There's a lot of those in this comic.
She look, this is a woman using her wiles in the wrong way. She's leaning down with all the cleavage. She's like, "Come here, little fluffy baby. I will be your friend." Stab with a needle. Like, this is you know what? You are to blame, woman. Your fault. Those titties' fault. That poor little adorable. You just look at how cute.
She knew how to bait him. She knew how to bait him. This is his
with
weakness.
boobs. That's how you bait any of them.
Exactly.
Any guy.
Works every time.
Aw.
It does. See, Sai said aw, because Sai's like, true.
It is true.
It's always boob.
Yeah. but
Okay, and-
that story's wild. That story's wild.
All I know is I saw a poster of this with the Quokka sunglasses
Oh, he
and a
got
whole bunch
some.
of body parts
Oh yeah.
around a pool.
So that's another thing is my covers don't lie. I hate in comics when covers lie, like they're like clickbait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pretty much every one of the covers is pretty accurate to what'll happen at some point. So that's I don't like clickbaiting
that
too
poor-
much.
poor pool party.
Yeah. You'll see how that goes.
All right, so Bloody Blade, which is your first stretch goal story. Who's the artist behind this?
Right. So this is Martin Jimenez, and this is the essentially Friday the 13th meets the Thing. Like a tactical task force. See, they got a task force that plans for these threats. Like, there's supernatural killers, there's creatures, there's freaking every type of killer on this planet that you could imagine. So they have a task force that specializes in it and does like its like own prep time thing. Like, Batman's always like prepared for everything.
Yeah.
He's like, I got like this like radioactive thing that'll kill you in 5 seconds anyway. But that's essentially what they're doing. So they're fighting this unkillable slasher who they have to figure out how to contain and defeat. So that's an interesting fight.
I'm not trying to typecast, but like this little tubby guy over here, I don't think that he stands a chance against this. He looks like a fucking statue that is just gonna that has become mobile and is just going to rip your head off.
Yeah, he, as you can see, he's not having a good day, but you may be surprised what he pulls out.
Whoa.
Oh.
Don't be pulling stuff out.
Wait.
Here. I don't know what your name is, but you just keep all of that. It's cold, all right? You don't want that out.
No.
People.
He'll shrivel.
Oh, gosh.
Wear and
All
tear.
right, and then... Sorry, Sai, what?
I said wear and tear.
This is the story that I think I'm probably the most intrigued by, like the look of Intelligence in the Void. This just looks
So this
a lot like my nightmares.
So this is pure cosmic horror, right? You know, Alien, Dead Space. If any of you guys game here,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah,
deals
fuck
with
Dead
that.
Space, by the way.
You know what?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
So
They're making a
scary.
remake. They're making a remake.
No!
So yes.
Don't
yes.
remake it. It's fine as it is. We don't gotta do this again. It was
No.
bad enough the first time.
No. It looks scarier actually this time, which is great.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Well, I always worry when they do remakes, because sometimes you're like, okay, that's awesome, and then other times it's like, you know, the Resident Evil remake where it was you playing with your buddy, and you're like, well, this is just a shooter.
It's better than playing with yourself.
Oh yeah, that's oh yeah.
Was
Which
that
one
5?
Was that? 5 was bad. Yeah, 5
Yeah.
was really bad. But no,
I was
like
like, this is just a shooter. This isn't even a horror game anymore. There just happens to be zombies that I'm shooting, but it's not really scary.
Yeah, no, with this they've been sticking really close to the like they've been doing live streams and stuff, and they've been sticking super close to the original, but enhancing it with like modern day technology and you know the stuff they learned from the other games that people liked, like 2 and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. But yeah,
Cool.
this takes a lot of inspiration from Dead Space and the Space Odyssey and stuff like that. It pries on fear of the unknown kind of a little bit. And it's a pretty simple plot. Like, these astronauts are catching signals from the darkest voids in the universe, you know, the darkest depths of it, the galaxies and all that, and they send this astronaut out to investigate it. They're like, oh, go figure out what it is. She's, you know, trained in this sort of thing, you know. So, yeah, so essentially you're going to figure out what happens there, but it's...
Who's your artist for this one?
So this is Simon Helgu. I always like mispronounce his last name, but something like that.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the names and I was like, nope.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
Nope, I'm gonna let other people say them.
Yep.
Yeah. So this one looks really interesting. So these are the kinds that I think I like the most. Are the psychological mindfuck, like this is the world as you know it, and then we're just gonna break all of the rules. And then, you know, it's 10 times scarier because you don't really understand where, like, where's the law? Like, physics has been broken, so I can't rely on physics to tell me what to do or how to go.
That's what I love so much about cosmic and psychological horror, really, is you don't really have certain limitations or cliches. It's a lot easier to make up your own stuff when you're not constrained by, like, these tropes and these specific things, you know, even though you can flip that stuff on its head. It's nice
because
to have
this
this
is
freedom.
Literally, it's what if the laws of our world weren't?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's the trope. The trope is what if all of the rules that you knew weren't? And it's like, well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I find that super intense, and this is like nature versus man. This is kind of like that cosmic horror thing, which is so incomprehensible that it's just terrifying. It's just existential dread, you know, and I feel like that's like one of the scariest things that a human can like feel.
Yeah, you know, that and a four-armed gigantic creature without a face coming at you, that's also kind of creepy.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a good time with that guy.
I bet. All right, so let's go back up. We'll go over your perks real quick. We briefly touched on them, but let's go into them. So your bloody basic perk, what is that?
This is simple. It's just the digital PDF of the book and the physical copy of the book as well.
Awesome. I very much appreciate that you are doing both the physical and the PDF. That's something that I wish more people did. I know.
To me personally, it feels like a standard thing that you should do nowadays, because digital is such like, as much as like people hate to like, you know, like a lot of people hate on digital because they're like, oh, physical's the only way to go. It's like, well, a lot of people like having the digital file as well, so they can just go on and read it whenever instead of having to go to their like bookshelf and like pry their comic out of the case and then read it, you know.
Well, and not to mention, it also depends on, like for me, I'm military. I go TDY a lot. I'm away from my computer, things like that, and having the ability to access comics without having to pack them
Right.
and hope that I don't ruin them.
Right, exactly.
Because what'll happen is I just won't pack them, and then I'm sitting in my dorm room by myself in my mid-30s, bored out of my fucking mind because I don't have any access to anything cool. So I'm just like, oh, I could be reading so many comics right now, but instead I'm just gonna stare at this wall that's peeling and wait for sleep.
Yeah, always include a digital, people. Come on.
Yes, that, and being able to get it out to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to get a copy.
Exactly.
That's another thing you might want to consider, is offering just a digital tier. That's a way to get around the international shipping charges for a lot of people. Sigh, I can't. You're so funny.
It's not my fault.
But yeah, so that would be another thing to possibly consider. So people who are in Canada or overseas have another option where they can still back the book and get the stories and be involved in everything, but not have to pay the crazy shipping that has to happen because international is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy that you're including the PDF with it. Okay.
And these rewards just stack on each other, essentially, by the way, guys. So on this one, you still get the PDF, but with this, you also get a two-sided bookmark, which is cool. On one side, you have Akumu, and on the other side, you have Jennifer, which is the main protagonist of the Flesh and Insect story. So that's a cool bookmark, I think. I think it stands out pretty well, especially the Akumu side. That one's like really creepy because her eyes like looking at you and stuff, so it's a little freaky. But yeah.
Well, I love. And I've said this with Geronimo Draws. I've said this with, who's the other one? I always forget one of them, but they're both over at Alterna Comics, and they love doing the black, white, and red aesthetic. And it's like, yes, that is my bread and butter, because you have everything that's it's just black and white, and everything's nice and black and white. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a big splash of red, and you're like, oh,
it's great.
What happened?
It's great.
There's got to be blood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
Yeah, so that actually really reminds me, the way that the little image that you can see there, it reminds me a lot of Junji Ito.
That's another thing. Yeah. Yeah, I love Junji Ito. Yeah, no, especially Simon's artwork for Intelligence in the Void. He has a little bit of a Junji Ito style, like, definitely.
I think that might be part of what kind of draws me to it, because I like the way that he does the monster and how it looks like it should make sense, but it just doesn't. Like, his torso's a little too long, and that neck is a little too skinny for a head that's a little too big. And it's like it's just barely off, just enough to be incredibly unsettling.
Exactly, that uncanny valley, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude. All right, and then you have your Curse box set, so what else are they getting with this?
So all this stuff also stacks, so this time you get all 3 variant covers, plus the main cover, plus the slasher box, which shows that's what the killer looks like in the Akumu storyline. That's the serial killer. So he's a little, he has a kitchen knife. He's looking creepy. But,
so that's what he looks like when he's not in his own head.
Exactly.
So in his own head, he looks like this dude spilling out shit, and then in reality, he's this guy in a cloak with a fucking mask.
You'll have to say, yeah. I mean, so it's interesting. You'll see how it goes, but. Essentially, you get the iconic Quokka sticker here, as well, and you get 5 trading cards as well. And if you backed my other campaign, Grandpa, that also had trading cards, so you can put them against each other, I guess, which is cool.
Just start your own game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then the Killer Collector. So this one is where you're getting some Joe Ball goodness.
Yep, you're getting 3 Joe Ball sketch cards. One of Akumu, one of Lewis, which is the serial killer, and then one of the Quokka, of course. And all of the rewards from the previous tier are on here. And then you also get an acrylic standee and a custom poster of your choice. So you can like choose what image, or I can message you essentially on what poster you would like to create. So you're essentially getting a custom big ass poster.
So when you say like a custom poster, are they is it going to be from something that's already done within the campaign, or how is it how is it?
So it could essentially be one of the covers. So that's essentially what we're going to do, is like one of the covers. Or you could do the Lewis one as well, the slasher box picture. That would be a cool poster as well. So it's whatever they prefer, really. I'll email them on what they would like.
Okay. So just to clarify for anyone who's paying attention, if you end up getting this with the custom poster, it's something that's already created in the campaign.
Yeah.
It isn't... Damien's not commissioning new art for you. To then print it up on a poster.
My own poster.
This would be a lot more expensive than that if it was. I'll tell you that.
Joe Ball poster.
Joe Ball poster. Oh, brother.
You could. This right here. This would be the Joe Ball poster.
That could be a poster too. That'd be easy. Right there, bro.
By the way, really quickly, William Pace over on over on Facebook. Here's my response.
I drank those. That's it. That's what happens.
Yeah, and then this. This.
Yeah.
I think this finally dried. Oh no, it didn't. Oh no. I'll just dab that on my face. It's fine. So, man, patches. Y'all know how much I love patches, because this is the second time I got brought up. Look, I'm just saying, you decide on patches, you let me know.
Okay.
We got a guy. His name's Tony. He's real good people. He does good work.
I guess I gotta talk to Tony. I guess so.
Gotta talk to Tony. All right. So
what kind of patch would you guys suggest, though, is the question? Like, who do you think would be? Oh yeah. See, he's always the easy answer. I swear.
It's gotta be him. But you gotta do where he's cute. You gotta do like the before.
Yeah, the before.
Before he wears heart-shaped glasses.
Exactly.
Because that's just at that point he just is getting weird.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of dismemberment around him. But if you did him cute like this, and then you just had like a little blood coming out of his mouth or something.
Have you showed them that picture yet? I think you should show them that cover art of the sunglasses.
Oh, where is it? I don't see it on your campaign.
Go further down. Oh, you might have to refresh it. Oh, go. Keep going down. Actually, keep going down. Keep going.
All right. So there's that cover.
Right
this
there,
one.
There he is.
Yeah, look at how adorably horrifying he is.
Just wait till the end and we play the trailer. You'll like it.
Yeah.
I just really like how there's a lot of censorship that had to
man. Indiegogo will like kick me out otherwise.
Like I'm curious as to what that is that's censored.
Well, I mean, you can assume, judging from all the other things around him.
Just more titties?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Floaty titties?
Yeah.
Sad face.
If it was like a
haunted Beanie Baby.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That'd be godly.
Yeah, there's just a lot of dismemberment.
Yeah, they're fine with that. That's okay.
And he's just like happy and still all photogenic, despite like. They're just missing an arm.
Quokkas are the best selfie creatures. So.
They're just sleeping, though. I'm convinced.
Oh, of course,
these two are just sleeping.
Yeah,
and that's totally not a skull on a barbecue.
No.
Nope. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then a closer look at the acrylic standee, which, again, the stuff of nightmares. Like, I have a lot of acrylic standees. I've even got we've got the fiendish one, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's badass. And then I see that, and I'm like, that's maybe a little
creepy,
scary.
Yeah. That's the
far.
vibe. That's the vibe.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is a sample of. So Joe Ball did a lot of sketch cards for you then, because you're offering 10 of these.
Well, yeah, no, he's pumping them out. If you guys buy them.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Joe Ball, you crazy man.
He's a madman.
But that is badass. Oh my gosh. Reminds me of the hot tub scene.
Llamageddon! Yes, at least somebody knows. That is okay. Llamageddon. You guys have to go on Amazon Prime and watch it right now. That'll
so
give
scared.
you a great idea of what the Quokka story vibe will be like.
Oh my
You know?
gosh.
It's
Sigh,
it's a
cue it
crazy
up.
movie. It's like so bad it's good. I love it.
It sounds like it's terrible.
Oh, it is,
I mean-
but it's great at the same time.
Okay. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna watch this, and Damion, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I watch
Go
it
ahead.
and it's as bad as I fear it is, like if it's
Go
another
ahead.
Sharknado, we're gonna have words, sir.
Oh, it's pretty close. It's pretty close to that. No, like it's so bad it's good. I'm telling you. You know, when I watched it, it was me and my friends were just hanging out, and I just see the picture of a llama with red eyes, and I'm like, well, I guess we're watching this, and that was a good choice.
Like we've got Llamageddon, the official movie trailer. Thank you, Frog G.
Yes.
Silver said that they did a Llamageddon watch stream.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, this sounds so terrible. This might be, you know what? This might be exactly what I need because I've had like a shit week, and I'm just,
It'll
maybe I just need some Llamageddon in my life.
it'll lighten
Yeah.
your mood real quick.
All right, so you have 30 days left. Just launched this today. 3
Yep.
backers already. Anything else you want to let us know about this campaign?
Just back in, like, help us make it happen, man. I mean, if you all come together, that's the only way it's gonna happen. So, yeah, I just do that and help me out. It'd be great. I'd
back.
appreciate it.
Just back. That's all he wants
it.
you to know.
It's as
Back
simple
it.
as that. Just back it. I mean, if you like horror, I don't know why you wouldn't back it. Just back it.
Okay.
You know? Simple as that, really.
Well, and keep in mind, if you back it high enough, we get it up past those goals. That's when those other stories kick in. So
Exactly.
definitely, I really want to see your 7,400 goal story.
Me
like
too.
that.
Me
That's the
too.
story that's got me probably the most interested.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
that one's
it's
really
between
cool.
that and the baller one, like those two, Akumu, they're real close.
Yeah, I mean, storyline wise, I like all of them, but my favorite is probably the Akumu one. I think you guys would be surprised by the Flesh and Insects one. That one actually has a really impactful story, I think. Like, that one might actually hit your guys' feelings. Because a lot of horror movies and horror things don't actually impact you emotionally. They're just like, oh, this is just like a fun little popcorn thing to look at. Like, it's like, okay, oh, some scares here, some... No. I want to leave you impacted after you read this in every way possible. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that could be taken wrong, but we're not going to. I'm really excited to kind of see where this goes. I hope that this ends up being a good success. And Sai, you got any other questions?
I got nothing.
Comments? You guys, thank you, babe. You're wonderful.
You're welcome.
Beast.
Thank you, everyone who is watching and hanging out with us. We love you guys to death. We are going to leave you with the World of Killers trailer. So don't go anywhere. Check it out. Definitely make sure that you back. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. And we will see you guys next time. Check you later.
Welcome to the world of killers, where the worst demons, creatures, and psychopaths coexist, creating a vast landscape of horror. Now, you can dive into its darkest stories. The Bloody Blade, a tactical task force of trained killer hunters, is sent after an unkillable slasher. Things do not go as planned. Flesh and Insects. A colony of insects burrows their way deep underneath a woman's flesh while her husband tries to find her the cure. Intelligence in the void. Something waits inside of the blackest voids of the universe, watching. And it's only getting closer. Kill a Quokka. He may be cute, but do not be fooled. This Quokka's killer. And also, there's a lot of big tits in this story. So yeah, check it out. Akumu! Delve deep into the mind of the world's most notorious serial killer and watch as his reality crumbles around him. World of Killers, a new place of fear.